Islam, as you know, today is a holiday. Kids are off, so alhamdulillah, we have a lot of people streaming into the masjid, mashallah. If everyone could please do me a favor, let's all stand up. Let us all stand up, inshallah, form the rows. If there is a spot in front of us, please fill in that void. Once the row, the people to your right, left, and in front of you is complete, you may have a seat. Jazakumullah khairan for your cooperation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us all. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح حي على الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الحمد لله الذي هدانا إلى دين الإسلام وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله وأكمل لنا ديننا وأتم علينا نعمه فرضي لنا الإسلام دينا فلا نعبد إلا إياه ولا نستعين إلا به نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا مولانا محمد عبد الله ورسوله بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة فجزاه الله عنا وعن كل المسلمين خيرا اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا أما بعد رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربي زدني علما والحقني بالصالحين سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم My dear respected elders, brothers and sisters, and fellow children in Islam, as we near the advent of the 9th month in the Islamic calendar, and that ninth month, which is Ramadan, is awaiting the moment to meet us, I feel there is a need to expand on the wholesome meaning of taqwa, a topic which we began 2 weeks ago. The verse in discussion is verse number 183 of chapter 2, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, kutiba alaykum as-siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. That all you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, so that you may become al-muttaqun. If you recall, 2 weeks ago, taqwa wasn't translated, but it was defined as a time and a state of protecting oneself in the security of Allah through a series of spiritual, psychological, and physical disciplinary steps. As I said then, and I'll say once more, translation cannot and will not do justice to what the message of the Quran is. Taqwa does not mean fear. It does not mean a state that you shiver in fear when you hear the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rather, it is a state when you surrender yourself and your all to the controller of all affairs, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This month, Ramadan, served as a golden opportunity to allow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to sort out all that which we have failed during the course of the year to sort out ourselves. We've tried in many ways. We strived and we thought we could do it. But after 11 months, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, I'm giving you this month. It's an opportunity. It's a window. It's a chance for you to say, Allah, I can't do it. So I will seek that taqwa, that protection in your security. I will surrender my affairs to you because I, as your creation, cannot do anything except through you. If you accept today, my brothers and sisters, if you just accept to embrace taqwa, all that I'm calling for this afternoon is that you in your heart and in your mind say, Oh Allah, I want my taqwa. I want to pursue it. Just like a credit card company gives you an incentive for applying. Hey, if you apply for this card today, we'll give you so and so. And you go ahead and do it because you accept the offer at hand, even though after running your credit report, they may not give you that credit card, but you accept it to try. This is exactly what Allah wants from us before Ramadan begins. Are you willing to accept to try to gain Allah's piety or not? Are you willing to try to gain Allah's protection or not? It is due time, my dear friends, that we pursue that mindset that we want to accept, to embrace taqwa, insha'Allah. And that is good enough. We say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is what I want. And this is what I will seek in this blessed month. If you recall, I spoke about three of many things that piety and taqwa can do for you. And why taqwa is so much needed in our world today. We are all stuck in our matters, individually and globally. We don't know which route is right and which route is correct. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. If you intend to seek the protection of Allah, Allah is promising you that in this month, He will make a way out for you. He will make a way out for your family. He will make a way out for your community. And He will make a way out for humanity. You have to believe it. And the time is this month. You can gain it or you can lose it. We all have difficulties in our life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِ يُسْرًا. If you pursue that protection of Allah, He will make ease all your affairs. And if our religion is confined to sins, which it isn't, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يُكَفِّرْ عَنْهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِ وَيُعْظِمْ لَهُ أَجْرًا. Whoever seeks the taqwa of Allah, He will remove for him his misdeeds and make great for him his reward. This is why, my dear brothers and sisters, Ramadan is the most important month in our lives. As a matter of fact, this Ramadan is the most important ever, because it can play a strategic role in fixing our affairs or paving the path for further destruction. Yet this month being such a great month, full of great opportunities, some year after year feel gutted and hopeless. When Ramadan comes around, for most of us, we're happy. We're jubilant. We have an atmosphere in our mosques, in our homes. But some feel gutted and feel hopeless. Why? Two reasons. Number one, we hear lectures and khutbahs and classes about the great virtues of deeds that one can gain during the month of Ramadan. Man qama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaba. All these virtues are thrown at us. That where one verse of the Quran or one word of the Quran holds certain amount of reward. And a person introspects and says, well, I can't do that. I can't come to the mosque. I can't pray. It's not something I'm accustomed to. Or I don't know how to recite the Quran in Arabic. When we fail to explain how the process can take place, many feel hopeless and helpless during this blessed month. And inshallah, to ensure that does not become the state of affairs in our community, next Saturday and Sunday, Sheikh Arsalan and I will be sitting here in the weekend. We will have a class for our community after Dhuhr on Saturday and Sunday to explain all angles and aspects of Ramadan and pave a practical course, a plan of action of how every single human being can benefit from Ramadan, inshallah. Number two, the second reason why people feel gutted and hopeless is because the pressures from our society of what defines piety. Am I worthy to be a part of the community? Am I worthy to enter into the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do people look at me as a Muslim, or do they write me off because how I dress or how my hair is cut or what I wear or what I don't wear? Today I want to focus on this, inshallah. Standards, definitions, criteria, judgments on what? On piety and righteousness. A good Muslim and a model Muslim. Practically writing off anyone outside of it. My dear son, be a Muslim like that person. Be a Muslim like that person. I.e., don't be a Muslim like everyone else, be like that person. Every single one of us sitting here and around the ummah is a victim of this mindset. Of what we define to be a Muslim. What is the criteria of accepting a person as a Muslim? What are the judgments that we feel we have in our capacity to pass on people when we claim them to be Muslims? Let me say one thing. If you want Ramadan, let's step back from Ramadan. If you want the Laylatul Bara'ah, the night of freedom, which is coming up Saturday night, you need to remove the judgments of others from your heart. So the topic of the khutbah today is simple. What defines a Muslim? What defines a Muslim? Not so that I can judge other people through that criteria, rather I can fit that criteria. Not so I can look down on others who are not from that criteria, rather I can be a source of encouragement and enlightenment for others to meet that criteria. What defines a good Muslim? In my understanding, my dear friends, 4 things. A good Muslim, number 1, is a confident Muslim. Number 2, a good Muslim makes space for other Muslims. Number 3, a good Muslim is a dedicated Muslim. And number 4, a good Muslim is an engaging Muslim. When you see, let's address number 1, a confident Muslim. When you see someone in a spiritual space, a sanctuary, or at a religious event, and you ask yourself, what type of Muslim is that person? Are you all with me? When you are in a religious space and you see someone and you ask yourself, what type of Muslim is that person? Let it be known that that person's Islam is more secure than yours. They came for Allah and His religion, focused and fixated on that goal, while you have become distracted from why you came for. Understand this. You may be able to shame someone for how they may be dressed or how they look, but they came regardless of how they are dressed or how they look, what they have or what they don't have, because they've come for Allah. What have I come for? We term some people as fitna, that if they engage, they'll fall into fitna, or they will be cause of others becoming victims of fitna. So what we have made today, our sacred spaces, we've made them into shelters from fitna. And that's exactly where the Muslim Ummah went wrong. Remember one thing, my brothers and sisters. Trials and temptations, immoral behavior and lewdness isn't something now. It isn't something in the West. It is global. It is from the beginning of time. The first crime committed by human on this earth was murder. When the son of Adam killed the son of Adam, alayhi salam. Not to forget the trials that came after of power and lust, intoxication and lewdness. We have been informed in our religion that all the trials that afflicted humanity before this nation will all combined afflict this nation. All the fitnas and trials that afflicted nations before us, all of them combined will come into this nation of ours. Don't blame a time or people that resemble it in your eyes. Rather, you should blame yourself for failing to change it for the better. For the person walking in may become a beacon of change before you even consider walking out from your safe haven. I am saying this because in the month of Ramadan, we will see people we don't see throughout the course of the year. My heart better be clean before they enter that masjid. My hands better be open to embrace them, and my tongue should be saying salam to them, while my mouth will be smiling to see them. If not, the chances of their success before ours is practically 100%. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told us, you will follow the wrong ways of your predecessors so completely and literally that if they should have gone into the hole of the lizard, you'll too go there. The things that happen in our world are real. But don't assume the people that you feel are doing wrong are victim of this hadith. One of the things the people before us did was they wrote off others. That was a wrong. One of the things that those people did wrong is that they judged others. That is the wrong. There's a story that Imam Bukhari records in his compilation that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ spoke about 3 children that spoke as babies. 3 children spoke as they were newborn babies. One of them we know is Jesus, the son of Mary, peace be upon him, Isa alayhi salam. The second was the child that spoke at the time of Jurayj, a story for next time. And the third one is the one that I want to talk about today. There was a lady, a mother from Bani Israel, the children of Israel, and she was nursing her son. And the son was suckling on the mother's milk. And along passed a man with great pride and prestige on his horse, with the best garment, with his head high. And she said, Allahumma ja'al ibni mislahu. Oh Allah, make my son like that. See, that's what I want. That's what I want. And the child left the mother's milk and said, Allahumma la taj'alni mislahu. Oh Allah, don't make me like that. Don't make me like that. So the mother's shocked. You speak? What kuman did you go to? I need to figure that one out. How are you speaking? So she became quiet. And so he went back and he started nursing again. And then came across a lady. She was in rags. Her clothes were shattered up. She was disheveled. She was very much abused by the people around her. And they were hitting her. They were taunting her. And they were saying, Zanaiti, Sarakti, Zanaiti, Sarakti, you are an adulteress. You have committed adultery and you are a thief. And they're hitting her and beating her out of town. And the mother looks up and says, Allahumma la taj'al ibni mislaha. Oh Allah, don't make my son like that. Don't make my son like that. That they are humiliated by the people, kicked out from the town, disassociated from the people. And the child left the mother's milk once more and said, Allahumma ja'alni mislaha. Oh Allah, make me like her. Oh Allah, make me like her. The mother then said, okay, you're talking, I need to talk to you now. Why are you saying this? He said that the rider that you wanted me to be like is one of the tyrants on earth. And that slave girl is falsely accused of theft and immorality. In Allah's eyes, she is high. And in Allah's eyes, she is low. What defines a good Muslim? A good Muslim is someone who is stable, secure, and confident for who they are. They may not be who you want them to be. And that's fine, because they're not coming here to be who I want them to be. They're coming here to continue being what Allah wants them to be. Allow them that space. Allow them that space. Our ummah has already inflicted enough harm on each other. We need to stop that. For insecurity, instability are words that are not in our dictionary. Number 2, a good Muslim is one who makes space for other Muslims. For we now realize that no one is an outcast. Everyone is a part of our family. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, He addresses the believers in chapter 50 verse 11 and states, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, idha qila lakum tafassahu fil majalisi fahsahu, yafsahillahu lakum. That if you have been said to make room in your assembly, then make ample room. Allah will give you ample room. The Sahaba, as much as they wanted to sit by the Prophet ﷺ and learn from him, anyone that walked in, they made room for that individual. Regardless if they ever saw them before or not, or if they knew them or not, they made space. It is time that not only do we make physical space, but we make that spiritual space and that mental space also. We remove those barriers, because barriers are only things that people put up when they're insecure, and Muslims are not supposed to be insecure. Number 3, a good Muslim is a dedicated Muslim. We don't see what other people do. We don't see how much other people do. We just focus on what we want to do and what we can do. Because the world may look at quantity, my Allah and your Allah looks at quality. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "La tahqiranna min al-ma'ruf shay'a." Never underestimate a good deed. Smiling is a good deed, and who knows, your smile to someone in distress may be the key of your admittance into paradise. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ittaqun nar walau bishiqqi tamra." Save yourself from the hellfire, even if it's with a date seed. We learn from the Prophet ﷺ, خَيْرُ الْعَمَلِ مَا قَلَّ وَدَلَّ. The best deeds which are small, but they're with consistency. This, my dear brothers and sisters, is called dedication. Don't get caught up with what other people are doing. Focus on what you can do. Pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He accepts your little, because the possibility is your little may be the means of your salvation, while your fixation on other people's goodness and ample amount may be the cause of your derailment and distraction. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us and make us a good Muslim, make us a source of making other people good Muslims, and make our world a world of good people. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد. A good Muslim was the topic of our discussion today. A good Muslim is a confident Muslim. A good Muslim is one who makes space for other Muslims. A good Muslim is a dedicated Muslim. And last but not least, a good Muslim is an engaging Muslim. My dear friends, we learn in our traditions that Allah's hand of mercy, protection, guidance, success is with the jama'ah, with the group. It's not with the individual. Our entire deen and religion focuses on uniformity, collectiveness, and being one body. We know in our religion that if you pray at home, your prayer is accepted, but you pray at the mosque, your prayer is accepted and the reward is amplified because you've come together. So there's so many teachings that talk about togetherness and doing things together. This is the case when it comes to our engagements. Our society, our city, our state, our country needs to see our collective voice. Done is the time that we complain of those who are doing, and those who are doing complain of those who aren't doing. Gone are the times where we say people should understand the importance of this, while other people say they should refrain from it. As an ummah, we need to realize how important it is for us to engage as one body. Our local elections are coming up. And many of us could say, I voted in the national election, I don't even care about the local election. Let me tell you all one thing. I'm not here to give a fatwa tonight, but I'm here to tell you why Allah's help is not with us. Because number one, we feel that it isn't a religious obligation to register. It isn't necessary to vote. But it is culturally important to complain. Because we love doing that. Oh, why is that person saying this about us? Let us all go to city council and complain and protest. Why did that person make such a statement or tweet something? Let us go and make sure they know who we are. If you cared about who you are, you should have registered to vote. If you care about who you are, you should have voted. It hurts me to my core that we feel it's outside of our religion that we should engage in processes which define the path of our future for our schools, for our roads, for our taxes, for society. We shouldn't engage. We should just pray. Well, remember, Allah told the angels to destroy the person who is only praying and not engaging. When you talk about politicians, they look at the lists of who's registered to vote. And then they look at those who are voting, and then they decide who they're going to go and spend their time with. If there's 20,000 eligible voters in Collin County, and only 2,000 are voting, please don't come and complain tomorrow when you're not allowed to take time off for Eid. Please don't come and complain tomorrow when your religious rights are stripped from you. Because your numbers in our world is as important as your numbers in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here at our masjid, we are focusing greatly in engaging with the society, not pandering to the society, but rather to drive, mold, and lead the society. That is my commitment as your Imam. That is our commitment as the Shura that runs this masjid. And that is the commitment of all of us here in this masjid, inshallah, that we are going to mold our city. We are going to lead our city. We're not going to sit back and complain about what's happening in our city. And that is why every election we call the people who are running for elections to come to our masjid to sit down and speak with us. This Sunday, inshallah, from 2 to 5 p.m., they will be here. Every single person running is going to be here, inshallah. They've been invited to come here so that you can speak to them, you can ask them questions, and so that you can go and vote. And so that your collective force of Muslims in this society becomes so important and apparent to them that they are willing to do for you what needs to be done because they understand your commitment to the city, hence their commitment to you is guaranteed. Early voting starts on Monday. Make sure every person votes. I end with the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which he said, "Man ra'a minkum munkaran falyughayyirhu biyadihi, fa in lam yastati' fa bilisani, wa in lam yastati' fa biqalbi, wa dhalika ad'afu al-iman." The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you see something wrong. Wrong doesn't mean it is open wrong. It can also mean something that's on the path to wrong. You better change it with your hands. And that changing with your hands is what you do with your pen, what you do with that computer when you go and elect someone, when you vote, when you write to your government officials, when you send proposals to your city, when you take the steps to make your streets safer and cleaner. That's biyadi. فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِلِسَانِهِ. If you're not in that position to do good, then advise those people who are in that position so they can do good. And if not, then by your heart. And the Prophet ﷺ said, before you say, oh, in my heart I think it's wrong and I pray to Allah, the Prophet ﷺ said, that is the lowest. That is the lowest. That is the lowest level of faith. So inshallah, we all with our families will turn out in the gym on Sunday. And inshallah, from Monday we will vote. Because what happens in Plano affects you before the sun falls. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to be those good Muslims that are confident in our faith, that make space for others as Muslims, that are dedicated to what we do, and that engage in our societies. We send salutations upon Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who guided us with a model of perfection and completeness, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima, Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا اللهم ألف بين قلوبنا اللهم ألف بين قلوبنا وأصلح ذات بيننا واهدنا سبل السلام وجنبنا الفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن اللهم اغفر لنا ما قدمنا وما أخرنا وما أعلنا وما أسررنا وما أنت أعلم به منا أنت المقدم وأنت المؤخر لا إله إلا أنت اللهم بارك لنا في شعبان وبلغنا رمضان اللهم بلغنا رمضان اللهم بلغنا رمضان اللهم اشف مرضانا وعاف مبتلانا وارحم موتانا يا رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون فاذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. Please ensure that our lines are straight, stand shoulder to shoulder. The edge of our heel should be on the edge of the line. If you see a gap or a space in front of you, please swiftly fill in that void, as there are many brothers outside waiting to come inside. Jazakumullah khairan.